Hello, grade 10 students. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the nutrients needed by the green plant. So, if a horse gets hungry, what does it do? Simply, it nibbles grass. So it needs what's known by the food for the horse. While if a tiger gets hungry, what does it do? Sure, it's going to hunt a prey, which represent the food. So what about person? If you get hungry, what do? Either you cook food, mostly you didn't do this because you don't cook food, or you can order food, mostly you do this. So, what about the green plants? What do they eat? How do they get the food? These four essential elements for the growth of the green plants. Number one, it's the sunlight. Number two, it's the water. Number three, it's CO2. Number four, it's minerals. So green plants, they are the plants that contain the green pigment, which is called chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is the pigment in green plants that absorbs sunlight. The first experiment is talking about the green plants and water. The objective of this experiment is to study the importance of water for the growth of green plants. Here we have two mediums, medium that is water, contain water, medium that's lacking water. Complete the following table of conditions and results. Plus it means presence and minus means absence. So both of them, they contain CO2. Both of them, they contain light. Plant 1 contains water and minerals, while plant 2, it doesn't contain water, essentially. So the plant 1, it grows normally, and in plant 2, it grows slowly, and finally, it will die. So indicate the variable factor in this experiment, compare the aspects, analyze the obtained result, draw out a conclusion. So the variable factor here is the presence or absence of water. So water is the variable factor here. And compare the aspects of the plant. Plants 1 that are watered, they are tall and green. Why plants 2 that are not watered? Here to about the variable. They are shorter and yellow. Analysis. Also in the analysis, we have to talk about the variable factor. So after watering plants 1, the plants grow tall and green, yet without water, the green plant, they become yellow and die. The first conclusion here, the plant, they need water in order to grow tall and green. Second experiment is talking about the green plants and the mineral salts. Objective of the experiment is to study the importance of mineral salts for the growth of green plants. So complete the following table of conditions and results. The first plant, plant A, we have the distilled water, meaning that the mineral salts are absent. So water is present in both of them. Mineral salts is absent in plant A while they are present in plant B. Both of them, we have light, we have CO2 in both. Green plant, they grow slowly. And whenever we have mineral salts, the green plant, they grow rapidly. So here the variable factor is the presence or absence of mineral salts. The aspect, green plant that are grown in distilled water means that no minerals. They are short, while plant B that's grown in water, rich in mineral salts, they are tall. Analyze the obtained results. So with distilled water only, the plant doesn't grow well, yet with water rich in mineral salts, the plant they grow fast. So here we can conclude that the green plant they need mineral salts in order to grow fast. Third experiment talk about the green plants and light. Its objective is to study the importance of light for the growth of the green plants. So in this experiment we have two plants. Plant 1 displays in darkness in the absence of sunlight. After 8 days the plants they are yellow and not well developed, while in plant 2 that were placed in the presence of sunlight, after 8 days they grow normally, they are well developed and they are green in color. Complete this table of conditions. Both plants they have water. both of them they have CO2, both of them they have a duration for 8 days, but in plant 1 we have absence of light, in plant 2 we have presence of light. So whenever we have presence of light, the plant they are green and well developed, while in the absence they are yellow and not well developed. Indicate the variable factor is the light. Compare the aspects of the plant. Plant 1 that's grown in darkness is yellow and not well developed, while plant 2 that's grown in the presence of light, they are green and well developed. Analyze the obtained results. In the absence of light, plant 1 becomes yellow and is not well developed, while in the presence of light, plant 2 grows green and well developed. This we can conclude that green plant they need light to grow and remain green in color. This experiment is talking about CO2, the fourth experiment. So in plant A, we have the bean plant placed in a jar, the glass jar, and for 15 days it grows normally, it grows tall, green in color. While in plant B, where they have potassium hydroxide and its function is to absorb the carbon dioxide, so here we don't have carbon dioxide, no CO2. So this is the variable factor here. So first complete the table. As we know, complete the table. You have all the conditions, they are similar except for CO2, which is present in tube A, plant A, while it's absent in plant B. Indicate the variable factor in this experiment. What is the variable factor? It's CO2. Plant A that's grown in the presence of carbon dioxide is tall and green, while plant B that's grown in the absence, they wither and become yellow in color. So analysis, in the presence of carbon dioxide, the plants they become tall and green, yet in the absence they become yellowish and they wither. Draw out a conclusion, we need carbon dioxide for the plants to grow well. So as a conclusion, the plant they need water, they need mineral salts, they need carbon dioxide, and they need light. These four conditions are indispensable for the growth of the plant. So moving to plants and minerals. Here we have the four needs: light, water, CO2, and minerals. Green plants on water. Observe the performed experiment to answer the following question. Tube A is covered by clay and contains only water. All of them they contain water and clay. Why? Plant A. In tube A there is no plant, so this one is reserved as a control tube. Its role is to control, to compare and explain the different experimental result. Tube B and tube C contain both of them. They contain plant. After 2 days, the level of water here it decreases to a lower level or drops to a lower level due to the presence of the plant that contains roots and stem. While the plant in tube C contains only stem without the roots. There is no roots, so no roots. This is the variable between tube B and C. So the level of water remained the same after 2 days. Compare to tubes A and B at the beginning and the end. So both tubes contain water and are covered by clay. Tube A doesn't contain a plant, while tube B contains a plant. What is the role of tube A? It's a control used to compare and explain the different experimental results. Compare the level of water in tubes A and B. Level of water without a plant will remain the same, since there is no plant, so there is no absorption of water. While in tube B containing the plant, the level of water drops to a lower level. What can you conclude from the experiment? Green plant, they absorb water. What is the variable factor between tube B and C? Presence of the roots. So comparison to the level of water at the end of the experiment in tubes B and C, level of water in tube C, where the plant doesn't have roots, remain the same in tube C, while in tube B it dropped to lower level. So the structure responsible for the absorption of water in a green plant, till now, it's the roots. Observing roots closely, which part of the root is responsible for the absorption of water? Here we have the root hairs and the root tip. They are placed in water, both of them, so the plant grows normally. Here root cap, and we have this root hairs. They are placed in oil, so the plant dies, withers and dies. So the variable factor here in this experiment, the part of the root, whether the root hair or the root cap is dipped in water. Conditions: the plant 1, the root hairs and the root cap, they are dipped in water. In plant 2, the root hairs are dipped in oil, while the root cap is dipped in water. So analysis: after dipping the roots and the root hairs, and the root cap in water, the green plant grows normally. While after dipping the root hairs in oil and the root cap in water, the plant withers and dies. So we can conclude that the root hairs, this is exclusive as I said before, roots till now. Now we can say it's the root hairs responsible for the absorption of water in a green plant. Now let's move to transpiration. Transpiration is the loss of water vapor through some plant organs. Which organs? Let's see. Transpiration in green plants, water droplets, they are formed on the inner walls of the plastic bag covering plant A, while here no water droplets. The variable factor here we have leaves. Here we don't have leaves. So the variable factor is the presence or the absence of leaves. So indicate the major difference. Plant A has leaves while plant B doesn't. In which plastic bag is water vapor formed and the water in the plant having leaves? Deduce the part of the plant responsible for transpiration is the leaves. So through the process of transpiration, green plant, they release water vapor from the part of the plant which is the leaves. Chapter 2, supply of chlorophyll plants with mineral substances. Activity 1 on page 28, root absorption of water and mineral salts. What the meaning of autotrophs? Autotroph, they are a green plant, they are chlorophyll containing the green pigment chlorophyll. Heterotroph, non-green plants, they are the non-chlorophyll. What is photosynthesis? You get this in grade 7, in grade 6, and other grades. What is photosynthesis? Is the process by which the chlorophyll plants produce their own organic matter from inorganic matter, which is the mineral salts. Let's move to the NOP solution. NOP solution is a liquid which contains all the minerals needed for the normal growth for the plant, like the NPK, nitrogen, N, phosphorus, P, potassium, K. Heterotrophs like fungi, they cannot grow in a mineral medium. They need organic substances like sugar, like glucose and sucrose and others. The growth of the fungus increases in the presence of sugars and mineral salts because they feed on. Very high and very low temperature inactivate the growth of fungi. The optimum temperature for the growth of the fungus is the room temperature, 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Light does not affect the growth of fungus. Potometer. What is a potometer? It's an apparatus used to measure the quantity of water absorbed by the roots of the plants. Activity 2, root absorption by mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae, definition, is a symbiotic relationship. It's a relationship that depends on giving and taking. It's a symbiotic relationship between a fungus and a plant. Fungus gives something and the plant gives another thing. Also, the fungus takes from the plant some elements and the plant takes from return from the fungus. This is called symbiotic relationship, a relationship or symbiotic association. The lung of the ash trees or any trees in the presence of mycorrhizae is much greater than that in the absence of mycorrhizae. So we can conclude that mycorrhizae is beneficial for the growth and more specific for the length of the green plants. Activity number 3, talking about the transport of the crude sap, page 32. What is the crude sap? The crude sap, the water and mineral ions that are taken by the roots from the soil, move to the leaves. So they move in ascending motion, ascending direction, upward. This is called the crude sap. The conducting tissue for the crude sap is called the xylem. is found in the roots, stems, and leaves. It's composed of the vessels. The root sap has an ascending, or you can say upward. It moves from the roots up to the stem and then to the leaves of the plant. Transpiration. Transpiration is the process, as we said before, through which the plant is releasing water or liberating water from the leaves. Stomata. What are the stomata? Stomata, they are tiny opening or pores in the plant tissues that allow for gas exchange. Stomata, they are found in the leaves, but can also found in some stems. We have specialized cells. These cells, they are known by guard cells. They have an important role in the plant. They guard and surround the stomata and helps to open and close the stomatal pores. So stomata allow a plant to take in carbon dioxide, which is needed for the process of photosynthesis. So transpiration is linked to the opening of the stomata. There is a link between transpiration and the opening of stomata. Factors that affect the transpiration. First factor, it's light. So light favors, and the vaporization of the transpired water favors the opening and the vaporization of the transpired water. Two, temperature. As temperature increases, transpiration will increase, but up to a certain temperature, which is 30. Above 35, the stomata will close. State of the soil. Drop in the humidity or the temperature of the soil reduces absorption and establish water deficiency. So less amount of water will be in the plant. This will lead to the closure of the stomata and saving the water in the plant. This is all. See you soon, and thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.